Chapter 9 Decision Making. Learning Objective 1. The three categories of consumer decision making are cognitive, habitual, and affective. Consumer decision making is a central part of consumer behavior, but the way we evaluate and choose products varies widely depending on such dimensions as the degree of novelty or risk related to the decision. Perspectives on decision-making range from a focus on habits that people develop over time to novel situations involving a great deal of risk in which consumers must carefully collect and analyze information before making a choice. Learning Objective 2. A cognitive purchase decision is the outcome of a series of stages that result in the selection of one product over competing options. A typical decision involves several steps. The first is problem recognition, when we realize we must take some action. Once the consumer recognizes a problem and sees it as sufficiently important to warrant some action, he or she begins the process of information search. In the evaluation of alternative stage, the options a person considers constitute his or her evoked set. Members of the evoked set usually share some characteristics. We characterize them similarly. The way the person mentally groups product influences which alternatives she will consider, and usually we associate some brand more strongly with these categories. Learning Objective 3. The way information about a product is framed can prime a decision even when the consumer is unaware of this influence. When consumers process product information, they don't do it in a vacuum. They evaluate its attribute in terms of what they already know about the item or similar product. Learning Objective 4. We often rely upon rules of thumb to make routine decisions. In many cases, people engage in surprisingly little search. Instead, they rely on various mental shortcuts, such as brand names or price, or they may simply intimate others' choices. We may use heuristics or mental rules of thumb to simplify decision-making. In particular, we develop many market beliefs over time. One of the most common beliefs is that we can determine quality by looking at the price. Other heuristics rely on well-known brand names or a product's country of origin as signals of product quality. Learning Objective 5. Marketers often need to understand consumers' behavior rather than a consumer's behavior. More than one person actually makes many purchasing decisions. Collective decision-making occurs whenever two or more people evaluate, select, or use a product or service. In organizations and in families, members play several difficult roles during the decision-making process. These roles include the gatekeeper, influencer, buyer, and user. Learning Objective 6. The decision-making process differs when people choose what to buy on behalf of an organization rather than for personal use. Organizational buyers are people who make purchasing decisions on behalf of a company or other group. Although many of the same factors that affect how they make decisions in their personal lives influence these buyers, their organizational choices tend to be more rational. They are also likely to involve more financial risk, and as they become more complex, it is probable that a greater number of people will be involved in making the decision. The amount of cognitive effort that goes into organizational decisions relates to internal factors, such as the individual's psychological characteristics, and external factors, such as the company's willingness to tolerate risk. Learning Objective 7. Members of a family unit play different roles and have different amount of influence when the family makes purchase decisions. Marketers have to understand how families make decisions. Spouses in particular have different priorities and exert a varying amount of influence in terms of effort and power. Children are also increasingly influential during a widening range of purchase decisions.